welcome to my new channel. I'm Anna, Vietnamese, and claim myself as a self-taught artist. This will be my first drawing/studio vlog as a start of my art journey. It's not really a studio yet because I'm living in someone else's house, but I have a tiny space to practice and create my little artworks, and I would love to invite you to come along with me on this art journey, hoping you guys would eventually be part of my inspiration someday. Okay, so how do I get here? Why did I suddenly decide to join this crazy artwork? Well, let me tell you now, while you enjoy this video of me drawing some tiny artwork. Stay with me and enjoy. This all started back when I was small. I have always been creative and into drawing and making crafts so much. I drew a bunch of comics, designed my own characters, designed clothes, made handmade bracelets and necklaces and clay pendants. I once even joined a contest designing the traditional dress for the Vietnamese sports teams in SEA Games or SEA Games. Can't remember which one now. But of course I didn't succeed. Right now I look back at it, I can see how childish I and my artworks were. But my ambition was great, so great. I was selling handmade stuff during my high school year, and with a bigger desire of becoming a top student, which I believe was more like my parents' desire than mine, I didn't spend enough time to grow my business. That said, art remained just a hobby back then. Then came my college year. When it came to choosing colleges, my parents immediately set my target as the school right in front of my house, which was one of the most reputable schools in Vietnam. I suggested them I may want to try out fine art, but of course they shut me down. You know how Asian parents believe art equals poverty? Before the entrance exam, my sister actually acknowledged my talent and offered me that if I failed to get into college, she would help me get into art school with her own money. I mean, I didn't really remember how much she was earning at that point, but that's what I remember her saying. I was so hyped. Both for the fact that I was going to take the biggest exam of the year, the ultimate challenge to every student's life, and that I would have a backup plan, which was actually more enjoyable. And when the time came, I took the exam and passed it with vigor. I was happy back then, but right now I was like, dang it, I should have deliberately failed it. But, well, it is what it is. During college, I also took on baking and loved it and started a tiny business with it. It was objected by my family, of course, because I wasn't the tidiest baker and we didn't really have space for all sorts of baking devices. I didn't pay attention to drawing anymore because now I have another passion to pursue. But overall, I still didn't have my family's support on that. Even my sister, who was supportive at times, would not stand on my side to maintain peace in the family. During this time, I was also picturing my future vaguely as someone doing marketing or human resource, becoming an employee of an educational operation or any kind of company actually. I was also holding my dream of going abroad to study, and so I was focusing on looking for opportunities. My target was the UK because of the only reason I was obsessed with British accent. But the school fee was too high, my mom was super weak, and my grandparents were so too. And as he was the first son of the family, everything was all on my dad's shoulders. So anything that was not obviously promising, he would not let me do. So basically, I was focusing on what was not my passion but couldn't be fully dedicated. Years passed and I was hopping jobs, doing 2 jobs at the same time, with one constantly being baking. I was doing art, just not drawing. And then while looking for opportunities abroad, my friend came to me and introduced the au pair program. For those of you who don't know what an au pair is, it's someone who comes from another country coming to the UK or Germany or anywhere applicable to take care of kids, get weekly stipend, living with the host family. It's a cultural exchange program. As seeing this opportunity of trying the life out there, I asked my dad to sponsor me. Can you believe it? His daughter graduated the top school, going to be a nanny? Hell no. But after much persuasion, he finally said yes. And off I went. I became an au pair, coming from Vietnam to this land of dream, the United States, and take care of local families' children. This time I set my goals of earning money, going back home, opening my bakery, and starting my own little business with my boyfriend at the time. But then, it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. Aside from all the struggles that I experienced as a foreigner in a brand new country, I didn't have time to practice my baking. My mind was all over the place. My mom passed away. I broke up with my boyfriend, and I was going through the process of finding a new family. I had no proper guidance on my career life. I had a goal, but I was like in a rut, not moving towards it. And then the pandemic came. Everything was locked down. People were fighting over the last toilet paper scroll or the last piece of bread on the shelf. There were no places for me to go hang out or scroll around with my friends anymore. And this was the time I indulged in social media like anyone else, especially TikTok, and saw so many cool artwork that was easy to make. So I was like, why not give it a try? I bought some paint by number set and started painting, and when there was so much leftover paint, I started drawing and painting and tried to get myself creative. And as a poor ass myself, I decided to find an app on my phone to draw because I don't want to waste money on paints, because I'm not gonna have all the time for that. So I bought myself a stylus for only $7.99 and downloaded Autodesk Sketchbook. I was then doodling out of fun and hobbies. It was relaxing and cool. But then came an offer from my current boyfriend. About my current boyfriend, who is super kind and sweet and cute and making me simp over him every day, helped me a lot with my spiritual practice, finding my inner self, practicing self-healing and stuff like that. I could talk about him all day, but this video is not about him, so let me keep this short. He told me that with my talent, I should be designing t-shirts. Then I was like, that means I have to practice more, and I actually can because I have all this free time from work. So I decided to invest a little more money in my artwork by buying Procreate. But it was Procreate Pocket for iPhones. And my poor ass self was telling me, you can make the cool stuff without buying an iPad. You are super creative. You can make cool designs without spending a bunch. So I was sticking with a cheap stylus and Procreate Pocket. Then it was just a series of practice days and everything was still made out of hobbies. But then one day, I saw a TikTok video about making money on Etsy and was so drawn to it after that. So little effort and money, yet so much potential. If you're doing Etsy right now, you will know how wrong I was at that point. But I was persuaded that I could make some extra money right now while being an au pair. So I decided to invest a little more. I bought an iPad mini, then eventually an Apple Pencil, which made a huge difference in my artwork. I posted a ton on my Etsy shop and obviously it wasn't getting the attention I expected. I was thinking so hard of myself. I thought I was more creative than so many people and didn't think I needed time to practice more. After a while, I was frustrated with the fact that my art was not seen and bought. I decided to just take a step back, post my work on Instagram and practice it. I started following fellow artists in the styles that I like and seeing how they got so many likes and stuff. I found out this cool challenge called Draw This in Your Style and started from there, getting other people's ideas and discovering my own style. There are also prompts and other art challenges that was giving me ideas about what to draw. I was also watching a lot of tutorials on YouTube, of course. So after about 4 months of serious art practice, I am here making some artist friends on Instagram and making this video to share with you guys my journey, whether it would become something or not. I saw what other artists on Instagram were doing and thought to myself, hey, I can do this all day. And with all the spirituality I have practiced, I was confident that this is what I was meant to do. So I decided to start building an artist plan for me and share it with my sister, who was agreed with me immediately. But then I also had to face a pretty great challenge, which is telling my dad. I found it so hard to tell my dad things even though we were super close. I suppose the reason was that my vision was different from his, and he has been shutting my opinions out for quite so many times that I decided not to tell him anymore. But that is what I really need to do. After all, he's my dad. When I told him about my decision, brushing up all my years in college, with which I didn't really learn anything for my career, my dad was not happy. He constantly told me to ask my friends for a job position back home. But I know that my sister is on my side, so I brought her into the conversation. So I told him, I have discussed with sister already, and we are building a plan for it, so don't worry. And after that, as I expected, he asked my sister for opinions, and after that, I was having his reluctant support. I mean, it's better than nothing, and I will eventually prove to him that I can do it. This is my story, maybe long, but that was how I acknowledged, neglected, and acknowledged again, and fought for my artist life. Hope you guys enjoy it. Any question would gladly be answered. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye.